Hello and welcome to the first episode of Pew Pew Airguns. I'm Peter and today we'll be discussing the subject of 3D printed magazines. So as some of you know, 3D magazines have been out for a very long time, but not really discussed or tested. Well, not officially anyway. I have the Calm magazines and a generic one, and most recently I've been sent some of these to test. Well, actually, I bought these off eBay. They're called Darc magazines. I'm not sure if many of you have heard of them. I would say they're probably the main competitor to actually compete against Calm. In recent years, these have been the industry leaders. You can't fault them for the quality. Very well built. Many people swear by them. But I've come across these. They've been on eBay for about 6 months, and I've ordered a selection. They kindly sent me 2 prototypes to test out. These are in production now. I was sent this about a week ago. This is a single shot loader for the crate and also a slug magazine. So I'll test that later. But first of all, let's talk about this company. We don't know much about them. Who are Darc? Darc, as it says there on the label, they are deluxe air rifle concept. Darc has nothing to do with Darko, not connected to the guy behind Calm, just a coincidence. I've taken some notes from a telephone call that I had with the guys there. I was very curious about how the inception of their business, how they came about it, and let's just talk about them. So it's a company run by 2 guys, Steve and Carl. They're both good friends and they've met at work. So it's good to know that these magazines are produced in the UK and easily purchased. I ordered 4 and I received them the next day. They were kind enough to send me a couple more, but let's focus on these ones. So I've bought a AGT mag, a FX mag, and a Air Max mag in 22 and 177. So we're going to test the 177 today on my Catran. This is a fantastic gun. Just picked this up about a month ago. If any gun's really going to show off the accuracy of a pellet, it's going to be this. So let's zoom in and have a look at the magazines. So that's the magazine there. I don't know if you can see it. My trusty camera girl is doing all the recording, so I have no idea if this is gonna come out well. But from first appearances, you can see the quality is incredible. It's really smooth. No additional work needs to be done on this. Mechanism's very, very positive. Inside you have these little rare earth magnets that allow you to go straight back. It's got a nice positive click. That's very therapeutic. Could do that all day. What else can I say? Oh, these little logos on here. I found this a really nice touch. I mean, I love the attention to detail. These little logos are not printed or stamped on. They're actually 3D printed in. And it's good to see manufacturers owning up to their product. So if you see a Darc magazine, you know it's made by them. So we're going to test these out. I'm going to load these up. Very simple procedure. I'm going to put 5 in, so I'm going to stick 1 in there. Putting 1 in, we'll lock it in place, and we're going to just drop these in, like so. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to shoot these and compare it to the original magazines, which is here. So I've preloaded this, so the magazine's already in here. I'm going to test this out. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the magazines themselves. So I had an interview with Carl and Steve on the phone. It was a WhatsApp call. Really lovely chaps. We spoke for about half an hour. So the things that they've asked me to mention is that these are not PLA, cheap polymer filaments, or made from cheap polymer filaments. This is made from a X-polymer filament, which doesn't melt easily. It has a very high melting point. they're made to very high tolerances, and before any magazine goes onto the market, that it's tested at their range. So Steve and Carl, they're both members of the Brocox, what is this? The Brocock Day State Research Range in Tinsley Park. So if you're down there, you probably know these guys really well. They test all their products there, and they also, as I've experienced, they also send out products to some of their customers to test out first, to get real world feedback. I love that. So I said I'll test these, and if I'm going to be testing these for them, I might as well test the products that I bought. So let's load this up. So I'm going to slide this in. This is my gun on my very, very expensive mount. Not expensive, is it a mount? It's a precision turret shooting rest. So let's cock this back and put this in. And that goes in there. That's beautiful. Right, so that's my range at the end. I'm going to run down there and shoot. Okay, so I'm going to test the original magazines first. These are the ones supplied by Air Max. I've heard these are okay, but can give quite random results. Slide that in. They're made from aluminium. I've not had much problems with these, but I've heard some of them can be pretty inaccurate. I've got a camera down there on the other side, so we're going to see how this shoots. Okay, it's going to adjust up for that. So that's just been adjusted. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Not a bad group, not a bad group. Okay, these are the Darc magazines. We'll test these ones out. Right, get a bit nervous when you're being recorded. I'll try my best. Same hole. Oh, this is going to be quite a close group. I think that's inconclusive. What I'll do is I'll shoot a few more and test that. Let me just put a couple more shots in. Okay, let's see this. All right, I'm going to test these ones. I think I pulled the last one. I was putting a lot more pressure on the butt pad with my shoulder. Honestly, when you're shooting and you're being recorded, it does change the dynamics of everything. All right, this original magazines again. Let's test these out. Oh, I could see there was a flyer. All right, so you've got one flyer with the Darc and 2 flyers with the original. I think that's a bit more of a conclusive test, but we're going to run down there and have a look at the targets. All right, so you can see with the Darc magazines, we've got quite a good group there, with the exception of a little flyer there. Here, also not a bad group. Also got a little flyer. So, what's the conclusion? So we've tested both magazines, the original and also the Darc magazines, and it's quite clear that it's very close. But with the exception of a couple of flyers, which probably my fault, and also some skewed and bent pellets. The Darc magazines, when shooting the splatter targets, is a bit more tighter if you exclude that one. Here you see maybe a 2 centimeter spread. That's more like a 1 centimeter spread. I wasn't sure conclusively, so we did a second, as you saw, we did a second grouping. That resulted in a much better group. That's 5 in 1, with the exception of me shooting a dodgy pellet there. Over here, I could probably use the same excuse, but it happened twice. Both really good groups. I'm probably give credit to myself for this more than the magazines, but if we had to decide, I would actually be using the Darc magazines over the originals. What would be really interesting is if we do a test against the Calm magazines one day. I've only got this in 2.2, but I will test this in my crate, and I'll post you the videos. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It took a lot longer than I expected to do this. I've been putting this off for quite a long time, but it was fun. Okay, speak to you later.